first installment of my Wishful Wednesdays segment. Again, I am not gross. I have found I tend to like to record videos in twos. Oh well. So you get to see the awesome Optimus Prime shirt twice, so consider yourself very lucky. Anyway, for my Wishful Wednesdays segment, I have had a newer starting witch come to me and ask, what should you have on your altar things first? Okay, gonna break it down for you. You don't have to have that much starting out. You build up what you want. I mean, look at mine. Yeah, it has art on it. It has a cute little candle cage thingy. And it has all kinds of stuff. All this is my different divination tools, my gems. You build it up as you go, and that's okay. You don't have to have a lot starting out. And don't look for these kits online. Buy them in pieces because those kits tend to rip you off. I've been searching for about 20 minutes and I've just found one that has the basic starting things. Okay? Now, before we even talk about that, we have to make sure you're going through the right steps. 1. By the time you're making an altar, make sure you have selected your patron or patrons, whatever path you follow. Have them picked already. And if you want a thing on how to find your patrons, that could be a separate video, just let me know. But this is the one optional thing. If you can, try to find something to put on your altar to honor them, even if it is a printout off the internet as a picture of them. Or if you go to a spirituality store and find that a gem is their gem after you've researched your patron and whatnot, throw that on your altar. Just try to have a little bit of things for them starting out. It helps build your relationship from the start. Okay. Again, I have my notes, so I stick to them. Okay. I highly recommend, if it's just tea lights, that's okay. And I know black ones are hard to find. Halloween time, fantastic. Samhain in the stores everywhere. So, I highly recommend getting a set of black tea lights and white tea lights. White can represent the god and goddess brought together, but also I have seen where you can have one, like the white one as the goddess and the black one as the god, or whatever. I like to have black just to make sure, as a protection one, it's a protection color. Make sure nothing shows up when you're doing your castings and whatnot. Have a chalice or a bowl. For the longest time I had a chalice until when I was moving it broke. So now I stick with bowls. So I have my bowl on my altar. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can go to the store and if you see one you like, buy that one. It could be a silly cartoony bowl. It could be a serious bowl like this bad boy over here. It doesn't matter. It's what connects with you. Okay? Whatever you like, throw it on there. If it speaks to you, good. Because that's all it has to do. It doesn't have to speak to anybody else. And get a wand. Yay! Wands are fun. I highly recommend for your first wand, go out to the woods. Find a stick. Whichever one speaks to you. It's good to have a decent length of a wand, I think. That's my personal preference. If you want one that's a little smaller, that's okay. Just find the one that speaks to you, and then if you can, identify what wood it is later. But then again, we've had this conversation. I'm not that good at identifying trees, but as long as your wand speaks to you, you're golden, baby. Next, you gotta get an athame, supposedly. I have yet to use one. I don't know. I've looked into buying them. Trust me, I haven't found one that I like. And that's okay. If you can't find a piece that speaks to you right now, wait. It will come to you. Don't think you're doing something wrong. You're fine. Let it show up. And then you'll be like, oh, that was it. That's what I was waiting for. You'll understand. Just give yourself a bit of slack. Look into divination. See the different methods. Runes, pendulum, tarot, scrying, whatever. Look up into the individual things and then research different things you can buy. Look into them at stores. I highly recommend to at least get one. Play with it. See if it's really what you want. Obviously, don't don't spend $50 on something you don't think you're going to use. It's okay to buy a cheap one starting off and no one's going to judge you. And if you do, screw them. They have no reason to judge you. So it's okay to be a little tight when you're first starting out, because I was starting out as a college university student. So trust me, I didn't have anything to spare and I had to really scrounge to buy the bare minimum. Research into your zodiac and your patrons for this, and look into purchasing some dry herbs for your altar. And if you're not ready for that, because that's kind of like the earthy aspect of your altar, look into gems at spiritual stores. They're easier to transport around, so I can kind of see the benefit. They're also sometimes prettier. So if that's what you like, go gems. You can do either or as long as you have an earth representation. And get some incense. Get some incense. Again, right now, what kind? Doesn't really matter. You're going to develop that as you read and as you learn along the way. So just get some, just so all of the elements are represented on your altar. You're good. Get an altar cloth. You can get a fancy schmancy little one with all kinds of cute little flowers. My first altar cloth was a sheet that I cut up. Okay? So don't think it has to be something you can go out and buy. If you have all this stuff in your house, good for you. Good. You have your witchy kit with you already. And anyway, it's better to use something that you already own because it already has your energy and is familiar with it. And it has a chance of working better with you than something you just bought. So don't think you're being scroungy or weird if you use stuff that's already in your house. Go for it. You're doing a good thing. Trust me. Also make sure you have a magical area in your home. Even if, because for the first 6 months or so of my practice, I had to pack up my altar every time I was done with it. I was sharing the room with somebody else. I had to do it when they were out because I kept my practice to myself. Okay? So if you have to do that, cool, do it. But make sure it's kind of in the same spot every time. That's my recommendation. Again, it's just energy where you feel the most at home. Wherever you feel that space is, use it. My last little piece of advice. Wow, I've done good. Only 7 minutes sticking to my list. Take notes for right now. Don't get a book of shadows just yet. I just bought my first one 2 years in, okay? And I'm just filling it up. Just take notes on pieces of paper, throw it in a binder or a folder, because it's not going to look pretty. You're going to be organizing. You're going to be writing every single thing down. Everything, because you think you're going to need to know all this stuff, and then you got to boil it down to, oh, what was really important here? Oh, wait, I forgot about that. Oh, God, the moon phases. It's okay. It's going to be overwhelming. Just write it down on paper. It doesn't have to be pretty right now. Put it in a folder, put it in a binder, put it in a little filing thing. I don't care what you have to do. I don't recommend getting a book of shadows yet, because you're going to feel that you have to put everything in there. And trust me, after you go through all your notes, you're going to pick and choose. Oh, well, that's not really relevant. Oh, I don't even use that. I'm not even into that. That's okay. It's your book of shadows. You're going to put whatever you want in it. Hold off on buying a book of shadows. Let it form. Let your ideas and your values, everything form around your path before you start writing all those things. Well, I believe that is it. Again, I highly recommend having all those things and an optional thing, something for your patrons. It just strengthens that relationship there at the start. But yeah, that's my little witch starter kit, and that is honestly all you need at the beginning. Sweetie, you will find everything else along the way. Just don't think you're doing anything wrong. You're not. You are fine. So, that is my recommendation, and if you have anything else that you think every other witch or pagan or whatever should have on their altar, comment, tweet me, let me know. Hey, everybody's different. This is just my little generalized list. Alright, it was nice speaking to you guys again today, and I hope we get to speak again soon.